So in a previous episode, we talked about our vacations.
Yep.
And how we had several interesting ones.
Yep.
Well, the biggest thing was sometimes getting there is the hardest part.
Yep.
Well, that is definitely this vacation that we're going to talk about next.
It's amazing we got there.
Yeah. Hi, and welcome back to our YouTube channel, Twins with Wheels. I'm Kelly.
I'm Kristen.
And so today we're going to...
That's why you got me first. I was born first.
It doesn't matter.
It should be really Kristen and
No,
Kelly.
it's good this way. I like it this way better. So anyway, this episode, we're going to talk about a trip that we took to Florida. We went to Disneyworld and...
With a lot of people.
And we went with a lot of people for a couple of reasons. One, we were bringing my dad with us, who had MS at the time.
Yep. And
he couldn't travel on a plane. So we had to figure out, how do we get him to Disney World?
Well, how do we travel like 24 hours?
Right. And he couldn't really sit in a car for that long either.
Right.
So we found a accessible RV that he could use his chair, and he reclined, and so he could get in and out of it. It was going to be perfect. I had a 1-year-old and a 3.5-year-old at the time. So we thought, great, we'll have the RV. It'll be easy to travel.
This is the RV that I never got to be in.
Right.
I had to be in the car behind the RV.
Right. Rich will explain that.
I'm still bitter.
Right, too. Yes, a little bit.
Here's a picture of the RV. You can see why I was bitter. We were able to rent a brand new 34-foot RV. It was a Windsport made by Four Winds. The RV was equipped with a stowaway lift. Well, what that means is that instead of the lift folding up into the doorway of the RV and taking up space inside, the lift actually retracted into a space under the floor of the RV. This was the early 2000s when slide-outs weren't popular yet, but even without the slide-outs, Four Winds provided a lot of space for wheelchairs in this design. In addition to the lift access from the cabin, the RV was also equipped with a roll-in shower and accessible bathroom, sink, and toilet that you could get to from a wheelchair. Where Kelly is sitting in this picture, there were brackets for lockdowns to secure the wheelchair, and on the couch where my cousin is sitting also included 3 seat belts, so we had plenty of options for seating. The table was changed from traditional RV booth to a table with freestanding chairs. And here you can see the back of the RV had 2 twin beds, which allowed my dad to easily transfer into a bed for the ride.
So, our trip was to begin from where we lived. We
live in Rhode Island, by the way, just in case some people might not know that.
So in Rhode Island, we had to drive to Florida, which is about 22 hours.
Straight down.
Yeah. So, we had...
we gotten everything ready.
Yeah, we booked our hotels for 2 nights because we were going to stay 2 nights somewhere.
Yeah.
So we were going to take a kind of 2.5 days to get there, which it did take 2.5 days to get there. Our first day, we were going to make it to Quantico.
Yep.
And then we were going to make it to
Georgia.
And then Georgia
to Orlando.
Easy peasy.
You'd think.
No. So our trip really started
at 8:30
in the morning, which was fine. We got out of the house all on time. Now
considering there was like 10 of us.
Yes, there was 11 of us actually.
11, yeah.
So it was my husband, myself, our 2 sons, Kristen, my mom, my dad. We had gotten an aide that we hired to come with us for the trip, and our 2 friends from college and our cousin. 11. So 3 cars got to take down.
Well, to New Jersey.
To
pick up the RV.
And then...
Was there a reason we took 3 cars?
Well, we needed 3 cars.
Oh, okay.
We needed 2 accessible cars You and I were driving one.
Right. Okay, I got it. Yeah.
Another one was going to have my dad and my mom and our friends. And then the other one was Mike and our other friend. And however, Mike and our friend were going to be driving the RV when we picked up the RV. So 20 minutes into the trip, 20, we stopped for gas. And my van, we couldn't get it out of
I couldn't get it into park to put the gas in.
Right.
Then I tried to put it into.
Your idea was, let me put it into low and then reset the whole thing and put it back up and just
Oh, I thought that would.
didn't work. So now we're in low.
Well, I got into low at least.
Well, yep, and that's all. We're in low.
And you know, in low, you can only drive like 25 miles an hour. Like, that's the fastest you can go in low. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So our plan was now we were going to have to drive home, drop the van now that wasn't working off,
Going 25 miles an hour.
and pick up our friend's SUV, and we were going to have to take that. We realized halfway, not even halfway, we weren't going to make it all the way
Even to, our house.
because it would have taken us 2 hours and 25 miles an hour going down the road. So we stopped at Kristen's office. She had been working in Warwick.
Thank God I was 10 minutes away.
So we put we put blocks underneath all the wheels
Because
because
I still can't put it in drive.
can't get in park or drive or anything.
I mean, park, sorry.
So now we put that, and then my
Empty it.
husband and our friend have to go, and they leave us there, and they drive to Cranston to pick up the SUV and bring it back to Warwick where we were, so that we could unload the car and reload the car. Now we have to put my power chair in the back of our friend's SUV.
Thank God they had an SUV.
And that my chair folded down. Yeah, 'cause the back folded down. And we had to bring ramps because we have to get the chair up into the SUV. So we meet up in Warwick. Now all of us are there. Now we have the SUV.
Two SUVs in the van. No. Just, two SUVs and the van.
And the van. And we start. Now we figure we've given ourselves plenty of buffer, plenty of time. Even with this 2-hour delay, we are still going to be fine because we have to be in Linden, New Jersey by 3. We're definitely going to get there by 3? No. Traffic. Lots and lots of traffic.
And there's always traffic going through New York and New York City because we have to drive basically through the city.
Yeah.
But it was like they knew we were coming.
And it just was at a standstill. So we barely got, and we're calling. I'm like, you can't close. You have to wait till we get there. We have non-refundable for this RV. We have hotels we have to get to by that night. You know, they're like, well, we can only stay so long, and it takes an hour to, teach you everything. And so we got there 2:30.
Yeah.
I think.
3 was the latest we could have got there.
Yeah.
We
And
planned to get there at 12:30.
Yeah.
12:30. So we're like 2.5 hours, 3 hours behind now.
so we get there. We decide now we're going to leave 2 cars with them. We're going to take 1 van and the RV.
The car, the van I had to be in all the time.
Yep. Great. We still, we might not get into Quantico until 9, but that's okay. We had planned buffers. I know I talk with my hands.
When
a
you
lot.
see me do this means she's talking with her hands too much and it's annoying me.
Anyway, so now we're driving to, our goal is still Quantico because we have a hotel reservation for
You were
3
better off not doing that.
accessible rooms. So that would be Lily and her toy. So we then,
Did that really get you that far off base
Yes.
with the little toy?
the toy.
We're driving to Quantico.
We're driving to Quantico.
Oh, but don't forget too, at this point we were supposed to have enough time to go to the airport in DC and pick up my boyfriend at the time.
Oh, right. Yeah, let's just throw that into the whole mix.
Which we were late for. So then he starts getting a cab and starts taking it to rest stops on the way to see if we can
catch up with
him or he can
catch up with us. I don't even know how that worked.
Yeah, we finally did get him though.
Yeah. that I just, please, this because, we just like to add misery to ourselves. And of course, the traffic gods were not good to us that day, so we hit more traffic. We did not get into Quantico until after midnight. Now,
With screaming children.
a 1-year-old and a 3.5-year-old. So
Guess where the 1-year-old was? In the van with me.
Yeah. So we finally get to the hotel. We just want to get into our rooms, just go to bed and start. We're going to start anew tomorrow because it's a new day. We're going to be fine.
It's going to be good.
We get into our room. In our room, there's a full coffee pot, and someone left a present in the toilet for us when we got there for some reason. The room was not cleaned. I don't know what was going on. I did not even have the energy to go and yell at anybody because we were just so tired. My 1-year-old would not go to sleep with anybody in the room. So my husband and I and my 3-year-old are in the bathroom with the door shut, waiting till he goes to sleep. And all my son's saying is, when can I go to bed? When can I go to bed? Can I go to bed yet? No, you can't.
I had my own room.
See, aren't you glad you had at least that?
My door didn't shut, it barely shut.
What
My
else we forgot?
wallpaper was falling down. What did we forget?
There was a hurricane
Oh,
heading towards Florida. Same time we're going down.
okay, but that was kind of our fault. We knew it was going, and we were still going to try.
Well, we had to because we had, we were going. We had 11 people planned for a trip.
Our plan was that if wherever it was going, we would either stop wherever we were,
Yeah,
or we would
just
drive
past
around it.
Yeah. So, the next morning, the hurricane, thankfully, turned to the ocean, so it didn't hit Florida, which was great.
Now, this is the one good thing that did happen.
One good thing, nobody was in Disney World because everybody canceled their trip because of the hurricane.
Including our aunt and
Yep.
uncle decided not to come. They were supposed to come too.
Yep,
And they
they-
decided not to come with us because of the hurricane.
There was nobody in
And that
Disney
you
World.
were sorry, Aunt Rhonda and Uncle Bob.
Nobody, which was great. I mean, there were no lines, no waiting,
We have a picture in Epcot where there is no
one there but us.
but
It's
yeah.
crazy.
You've never seen anything. like
Anybody
it.
who's been there, that's not the norm for September, which is when we were there. So the second day went fine.
Yeah.
We actually got in on time the night before that night. The next day, great. Got into Florida around 2:00, I think, in the afternoon. And on we went with our vacation, which was great. Great time. Kids loved it. Everybody had fun.
Lots of pictures and videos.
Lots
I
of
wasn't even
pictures
in.
and
I swear to
videos.
God, I wasn't on this trip. I was
Yeah.
in the van and nobody took pictures of me while we were there.
No. Yeah, no, huh?
No.
So, that was our trip down to Florida.
So the other thing we should tell them why we were down there is that we went to Discovery Cove,
Yes.
where you could swim with the dolphins, which I've always wanted to do. It was like a dream of mine.
Which I let you have because only one of us really could do it.
You're
That was pretty
amazing.
nice, I had the 2 boys. They were too young.
Yeah.
So,
Now, we get to Discovery Cove. We got to put these suits on and everything, which I hated. And then they're like, okay, we got to get in the water.
not
so
the most flattering.
no.
No.
So they gave me this chair with like the big wheels on it. Like you would probably even see them sometimes at the beach, but I've actually never used it. So I'm like, all right. So I get in the chair and we start pushing it into the water. Only we didn't realize that it floats, actually. It's not meant to go in the water.
So I wasn't really sure why they gave that to you.
Because it was meant to go around on the sand all the way up to the water.
Oh.
Needless to say, when they started going it in, I basically just tipped over. I almost died with the dolphins.
That was rough.
But still, like, an awesome
Oh,
experience.
yeah, it was great. And we got to go around with the boys, and they got to, swim with the stingrays, and
You went in the lazy river.
I almost died in the lazy river.
I didn't almost die in
Yep.
the lazy river. It's
I
lazy river. Can I just say it?
It wasn't lazy.
Lazy.
It was not lazy. Almost died. Thank God for my friends who saved me. and our son. So mind you, now I see my 3-year-old
Going
coming
by.
down the lazy river by himself, and there I am, and it was just,
You had your own problems.
I had my own problems. Yeah, I wasn't helping him. But yes, no, we were all fine, and it was a great experience.
Yeah, it
well
was
worth
great, yeah.
the trip and the money
Gazillion
and
dollars we
yes.
spent on it.
So
So now we're good. We have a great vacation. We were there almost a week and a half. Like this was a whole like a
it's a
2-week
2-week venture. Yeah.
adventure. Yeah. So we got to start going home, and we're like, we can't possibly have another disastrous trip on the way back.
Nope.
Again, I was in the van.
I was in the RV. We're driving, and Michael noticed something that was going on, kind of funny with the back wheel, and he felt something, and it stopped. I'm like, oh, all right, that must be nothing. And then we're in the high-speed lane, and all of a sudden,
Whoa,
this huge like explosion, it sounded like, and it was the tire. Now apparently this RV had 2 tires on each side in the back.
Yeah.
You would know because you were driving behind us most of the time.
Yeah.
So one blew out in the morning, which we didn't realize, and then another once you get that second go, that's it, you're done. So now we are in the high-speed lane, and he's trying to get over.
And we had walkies back then we had walkie-talkies.
Yeah.
So we're on the walkie going, you got to pull over, you got to pull over, you got to pull over.
So we're looking, my cousin realized, thankfully, that there was the RV, the trucks behind us, pulled over and like stopped everybody from coming by them so that he could get over in time.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, that was very nice.
Yeah.
Of course,
Shout
I
out to
wouldn't
the
know that. I
truckers.
was in the van.
Right. Fascinating to me, the truckers.
Okay, move along.
Their life. Truckers' life. Anyway, shout out to the truckers. So we pulled over, and now we have, 2 tires gone on an RV. You don't just stop in anywhere and get that fixed. But luckily, it happened an exit away from an RV dealership. So we pulled over, and they were very great, and they helped us, but it did take,
I think like 3 hours.
yeah. So there we are.
In a parking lot.
In a parking
and
lot.
we didn't go to the place because we couldn't. So we're in the parking lot, and they had to come to us.
Yeah, it was, so that delayed us. So then that night we didn't get to our hotel till midnight again.
But then, then we got home, right?
Yeah, it was
Nothing
a great
else
trip.
happened?
No,
Nothing else happened.
nothing else happened. It's kind of boring. So that was our trip to Florida. First time taking the kids to Disney.
Luckily, they have no clue.
No, they don't remember.
So that is our trip to Florida. It's actually kind of amazing that our friends continue to go on trips with us.
Yeah, why do that?
I think they're just as crazy as we are.
Yeah.
They continue to say, yeah, let's go with you. Knowing that these things, it's kind of like a rule that if there's more than 2 people with our last name in the car, there's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
And we had like 5, 6 on that trip, so we were doomed.
Yep, from the beginning. But we had a great time. Great trip. So let us know if any crazy trips you've had that have gone as crazy as that one did for us.
Yeah.
So don't forget, like, share, subscribe.
I'm really getting bored of listening to that.
And always whatever you gotta say. Like, share, subscribe. And also follow your state's regulations for the pandemic. Social distancing, wear your masks.
I want to go to Disney again next year, people. All right. Say bye. Bye.
Bye.